Mario caping? What a spectacular game, ladies and gentlemen. I'm glad you played this one. We haven't had a whole lot of Lion King or Aladdin on stream.
Game over. Oh, I don't get to continue?
You used 3 or 4 continues.
I didn't know there was only 3. Good evening, professors.
Good evening.
What could research on quantum mechanics say about consciousness? Nothing in my research could say anything about quantum mechanics. I mean, consciousness. I don't know. It's a good question. Ken, do you have an answer?
I don't have an answer, but I mean, there's a lot of intriguing biochemists that are starting to look at these quantum phenomena, like tunneling, right? Like there's a lot of events that happen in the body faster than you think they should with classical mechanics, right? And so there's clearly like tunneling of electrons, tunneling of protons, all these quantum phenomena that we take for granted and think about in potential energy walls, but they're probably happening in the body. And one of my favorite examples of this is like the navigation system in birds. Have you seen this? It might be a quantum fluctuation with magnetic fields. Like they just have a discomfort when they're not going north or whatever that feeling is they have in their brain.
What a sad existence.
It is, but it gets the job done. There's a Conway free will lecture, maybe that's is life deterministic? Are you gonna play again?
No. Yeah, I'm waiting. Are you ready for the timer? You ready?
Let's do it.
Here we go.
Uncle Bill stopping by on mobile. Welcome back. It's good to see you. I completely understand. I hate mobile. I hate texting via phone, but thank you for joining us. I'm impressed you're chatting and adding emotes via mobile while watching some Aladdin. But yeah, Uncle Bill, if you want to hear about some quantum mechanics, quantum computing, Eugene is happy to answer them. So you're just generally skeptical about quantum computing being useful in any reasonable time scale.
Well,
before you die, where do you envision quantum computing?
I don't know. That's a good question.
Assuming you live to 80.
Live to 80?
Optimistically, let's say you live to 80.
I really don't know. Like, who knows? I don't think anyone knows. Or am I wrong? I mean,
no one knows, but like, I mean, if anyone's positioned to comment, maybe you are.
More advanced than it is now.
That's the laziest answer. Like, if you had to guess, well, what's the breakthrough it takes?
Well,
I mean, cooling the system is one.
I mean, you just need a lot of qubits, unless there's some other magical fault tolerance algorithm that requires fewer qubits.
Yeah.
You just need a lot of them.
So there's a physical scale problem.
Yeah.
How many qubits can you get in an area? So this is a manufacturing problem. It's a reading problem.
It's an engineering problem, sure.
I mean, but so let's look at the timeline of transistors. First transistor was 1947. So that was a paper clip and a chunk of germanium on a slab, which was roughly, I don't know, 5 centimeters by 5 centimeters. And now we can fit 1 billion of those per centimeter. And so that's over a, 80-year period, a little less than 80 years, 75 years.
Okay, so 80 years from now, we'll have iPhone quantum computers. How about that?
Does it scale that way? I mean, I think there's going to be some dark horse innovations, right? The some way to cool it or not having a system that doesn't need to be cooled will be probably a necessity, presumably, right?
Yeah.
And these are engineering feats, not even like chemical necessarily.
No. I mean, yeah, there's the chemistry aspect. We have colleagues who are interested in developing qubits from molecular spins on molecules. Mm-hmm. But who knows if those are going to be useful.
Material science problem? Yeah, I think it's chemistry / material science / physics / engineering. But if there's a massive Manhattan project, is this one where you can just throw money at it and solve it?
I don't know. There is a lot of money out there for quantum computing research.
On a lot of department.
And there's a lot of industrial people.
Yeah. Let's solve fusion first. That's fair. Unlimited energy, you can do anything, right? I don't care about cooling as long as I have infinite energy at no cost. So that is, yeah, non-trivial. Uncle Bill, maybe quantum encryption and random number seeds?
Quantum encryption.
Yeah, in terms of within your lifetime, 40 years from now.
I don't know, that's also terrifying. I knew there was a professor, I am not 100%, I can't remember who it was, so I'm not going to guess, who at a conference they said, I know quantum computers don't exist because I look at my bank account and there's still money in it. Like, if they existed, would people really be using them to do chemistry? Probably that's not the most important.
I mean, but of the bank accounts you could steal from.
He must have some good stuff in there.
Yeah, I was going to say, he's way more optimistic about his bank account than I am of mine. We get paid reasonably well, but not so much so.
Not quantum computer well?
Yeah. I mean, so what does quantum encryption look like versus classical encryption? Why is that a thing? Why do we care?
I mean, I can say vague things. So
yeah, vague things.
Factorizing large numbers into prime factors is an important component of breaking encryption, right? So I don't even know how it works, but it involves factorizing large numbers. That's something that a quantum computer can do more quickly than a classical computer.
Let's see. So it just solves it quicker.
Random
number seeds is an intriguing idea. Well, it's like random number generator, presumably.
I don't know of any. I personally don't know of any applications where we need better random number generators.
What do you use for your random number generator?
So like some people in theoretical chemistry do Monte Carlo simulations, which involves random numbers. We don't. So like anything I need random numbers for is just like starting with a random guess for solving a problem, and it doesn't really matter. Just use a built-in C++ library that
I see.
gives you random numbers. It doesn't matter. It's the quality of them.
Truly
matter.
Random.
Yeah.
But you don't
Pseudo-random. But no, I don't care.
Yeah, I think Sachin, we talked about that, the lava lamp random number generator. Have you seen this?
I think I know what you're talking about. Please explain it to me.
It's like a wall of lava lamps.
Yeah.
You can take a photo of it and generate a number from that, and it's sufficiently random that it is a random number generator, at least as far as I can tell.
That's fun.
Really, my understanding is that no random number generator in our digital computing today is truly random.
I believe that is correct. Why do we need it?
I don't know. That's a good question.
That's what I was saying. I don't know. I personally don't know of an application. Come on. That I don't need a truly random number generator.
I mean, presumably high-level encryption. They use random number generators.
you gotta get someone from the NSA in here.
Yeah. I'm sure they'd be happy to be a guest and talk about all their knowledge.
While drunk.
Yeah. Take shots of strawberry cream tequila until they talk. Sure, I'll get them fired and whatever it might be. Yeah, encryption. Contra. The integrity of Tetris is at stake without randomness. I mean, that kid beat Tetris recently. Did you see that?
You can beat Tetris?
Yeah, you can beat Tetris. Apparently, the I don't know whatever the pseudo kill screen is, but this like 12-year-old kid did it.
Huh.
Yeah, which is why nation states are so interested. Yeah, that's a lot of the funding being pumped into quantum computing right now in the U.S., at least from my understanding, is fear of what China can do with their quantum computers if we don't get there first.
Every time you say nation states, I think that's someone's username.
Why?
I don't know.
No, it's misadventures. Yeah. All right, but we've talked about this previously. So in terms of quantum applications, you are less optimistic about quantum computers.
Well, I don't know. I'm just a naysayer.
Yeah. I mean, we need those.
So I'll give you
brief side note. Contra just said the creator of Tetris and his business partner called that kid to congratulate him. I think the kid and those two are very sweet people. That's awesome. Yeah, the backstory I'd heard on the kid is that his like dad died fairly recently before he pursued that, and that was like his I don't know, emotional coping was playing Tetris. So that's really awesome.
Well, what does he do now that he beat it?
I don't know. Beat it harder? No. Phrasing.
I'm not going to engage.
You're not going to engage. Kids might be watching. They should be asleep now, right? 9:16.
I feel like I'm significantly further along in this game than I was last time.
Yeah, but good on him. Who knew there'd be innovation in Tetris 35, 40 years later? He goes to Alaska with an axe. Have you thought about going back to Alaska?
That would be fun.
Yeah.
My parents would go on cruises to Alaska. I don't really get that, though.
Like,
I don't understand.
What kind of cruise? Like big boat cruise or like see the glaciers up close cruise?
I mean, it's both. It's a big boat cruise, and then you go in
I see.
to some port, get out and see a glacier. Old Foggy.
Old Foggy here. I remember when a floating point unit was a completely separate accessory on the motherboard. Now it runs alongside the CPU in the same package. Best I can imagine for a quantum unit would be similar setup.
Well, they're already
Well, can you explain a floating point unit to the general readership?
Sure. So the way a number is stored on a on a computer is a floating point number is a number that's not an integer, and so it's stored as a collection of bits, zeros and ones, and there's 1 bit for the sign. So if it's 0 or 1, the sign is plus or minus. Then there's a few bits for the exponent. So if it's stored kind of like scientific notation, something times 10 to the something. So there's a few bits for the exponent there, and then there's a whole bunch of bits to describe the actual digits in the number. I don't remember what the question was.
Floating point unit.
Yeah, so I guess that's the thing that does mathematical operations with that data. Anyway, on a quantum computer, it's not like a classical computer. It can't do math like a classical computer does. So usually there's certain tasks that the quantum computer is good at, and there's certain tasks that the classical computer is good at. So your algorithm's going to use both. Yeah.
And so he was talking about a floating point unit was completely separate accessory on the motherboard.
But I'm kind of saying that's how it works now. You have a whole computer as a separate accessory. A whole classical computer is a separate accessory to your quantum computer that does the things that are easily handled by a classical computer.
I mean, so this is, just a question out of curiosity. You spend all your time on computers calculating using the software aspect, but how well do you understand the hardware of your computer?
There was a time when I understood it much more than I do now. I mean, you have to write good code, you have to understand what kind of memory you have and caching and things like that.
Yeah.
Especially if a lot of people in my field will try to develop code that runs on GPUs. Those are graphics processors. And to use those, you really have to understand the memory layout and then how you get data onto the GPU from the CPU, and how to deal with the cost of moving data back and forth. So you do have to know that stuff. If that's what you're developing software for them.
And so GPUs were the major recent transition. How often do you have, I don't know, paradigm shifts in the hardware that affect how you do things?
I'd say not.
Are happening now.
Well, yeah, I guess. Well, GPU transition is still ongoing. So all the best supercomputers in the world use GPUs now. But not most people's codes can't actually take advantage of them. So I'll give you an example. That was only second try.
That was GG's. No, you're flying now.
GG.
GG's. Somebody write down that password. Genie, Jafar, Aladdin, Abu? Is that his name? Yeah.
Do we know how many worlds there are? Or stages, rather?
Oh, Misadventures, I didn't see that. I didn't know you could gigantify an emote. I don't know if you saw this, Eugene.
That's a big one.
So Misadventures used 30 bits to gigantify an emote. That is awesome. Thank you. I didn't know that. That must be part of Twitch's new... They did a bunch of new features, and I have not been paying attention, so I feel bad, but...
We all learned something today.
Gigantify an emote.
Oh, I have to wait for the clouds.
Is there anything I should know, Misadventures? Anything? I don't even have animated emotes, which I should really do. Eugene, you should figure it out.
I don't understand.
Make your class do
wait a second. The last time I did this, it was all clouds. Now it's not all clouds, and it messed me up. So wait, I should do what now?
Figure out some animated emotes for the stream.
I'm on it.
Make your students do it. Completely abuse your power as a teacher.
I asked them very nicely to make a new logo for the chemistry t-shirts. So there's a new logo for our department t-shirts, by the way.
Oh, that was you guys?
Did you see it?
I did see it.
For real? Who showed you?
I had a comment on spacing. It's where it has the like beaker.
Oh, no. That's the Cheminols.
Oh, okay.
And I argued with, well, I didn't argue. I suggested to Lori that they're their own organization. I don't know that GRAC should be paying for...
I was on this email chain.
Yeah, so anyway, I and Marcus made a new one.
Oh, that's fun.
And so it's got the benzene.
That's cool.
You know the spear that goes through the benzene? It's a new one, though.
Well, can we still do the spear?
Lori has a list of registered trademark things that we're allowed to use. The spear is on there. I don't know if we're allowed to change it, though.
I see.
So we'll find out if they reject what we put forward. But it just says Department of Chemistry and Biochemistry and has a more modern looking spear and benzene. Good job, Marcus, if you're here.
Thank you, Marcus. That's much appreciated. Volunteer work doesn't help with your thesis. Maybe add it to the resume. That's graphic design. That counts for something. But yeah, those of you not familiar, so FSU has a relationship with the Seminole tribe in Florida. And so part of this relationship is, I mean, they show up to every game, every graduation. There's a representative involved. There's negotiations every time the Seminole logo is processed and things like that. And there's a really recent renegotiation of the relationship that says you can't do any modifications of the name. Wow, good save.
I almost messed it up.
No, we can't.
You can't do any modification of what now?
Can't do any modification of like the name Knoll. So we used to be the Cheminols, the chemistry Seminoles, you know, the portmanteau of those. But we can't use Cheminols anymore, so we had to change our names to no longer involve the word Knowles. So yeah, we had to do that modification, and I think we had to do the logo modification, but I don't know that for sure. Uncle Bill, speech to text fail. That was supposed to be fogey and not foggy. I'm impressed though. That was where was the message?
He said he was an old foggy, and then that was the floating point.
Yeah, but the text to speech on floating point that's pretty
Fogey?
good. Fogey. Old fogey here. I remember when floating point unit was completely separate accessory on the motherboard. Now it runs alongside the CPU. Best I can imagine for quantum unit will be similar setup. That's pretty good text to speech. I mean, I remember. Do you remember playing on the early like Macintosh when it had a built-in text to speech that was terrible?
I play with my children with that. We haven't done it in a while though.
Yeah.
Oh man, this is no longer fun.
Gohaku, there's speech to text in the stream? No, there is not. There's another message effect. Why am I not getting notifications of these messages? Let me test follows here. Yeah, there. I got that. I don't know if Streamlabs not communicating, but anyway, Gohaku, welcome back to stream. Thank you for joining us. That's awesome. We have like, you see these new effects?
Don't distract me.
Bits and actually get. Oh, sorry. We got serious gameplay going on, ladies and gentlemen.
Expert
gameplay. Man, the question about quantum mechanics and consciousness is a fun one. Are you deterministic, Eugene? I think we talked about this last time.
Oh, definitely not.
Well, so there's a deterministic that you can predict and a deterministic that's out of your control.
Well,
Deterministic on both.
I feel like you're making things up now.
No, so like, there is a possibility for an outcome that we can't predict, but it's inevitable. versus an outcome we can predict and is inevitable.
I see.
And so, like, is quantum mechanics truly random, or is it just that we can't accurately describe it yet?
I don't know. It's a good question.
What are you leaning towards?
Well, I just know that you can't make precise predictions. Whether that's a failure of the formalism or not, I haven't really thought about. Sorry, I'm boring.
It's existential. We don't get existential.
Overlap
until we're
between
like 8 shots in.
Overlap. Can I read the chat, or do I have to wait for you to read it?
Yeah, I'm going to
Okay.
get back to Misadventures has one. What's the big area of debate in chemistry today?
I can't speak for all of chemistry. Oh man, I'm getting old, guys. I brought my glasses with me so I can take my contacts out. They're starting to get dry.
Right.
Anyway, I can't speak for all of chemistry. I'm already 3 minutes past the world record, by the way.
It's going to be okay. As long as you can beat it. You'll be on the board. We will cut this. You will be able to post it to speedruns.com, assuming you get a reasonable time.
I don't want to waste my time with that. Get out of here.
Anyway, sorry. What's the big area of debate, at least in your field?
There's this one really hot area in my field called Polariton chemistry, or Polaritonics. I can explain this. So there's this phenomenon where if you put a molecule inside an optical cavity, that means
Between two
mirrors that are very closely spaced together. If the cavity is small enough, then funny things can happen. You can get very strong coupling between the molecular degrees of freedom and the photon degrees of freedom, and you can form these states that are called polariton states that are hybrid molecule and photon in character. And these states can have very different properties than the parent states. And so starting like 10 years ago, there were some experiments that showed you could change chemical outcomes just by putting a molecule inside a cavity, which is very cool. So people like me, we say, okay, if this is actually true, we probably need the same sets of quantum mechanics tools that we have for normal chemistry. You need them for this new kind of chemistry that involves cavities. But the controversy is twofold. Number one, a lot of these experiments can't be reproduced. And the second one is on the theory side. A lot of people will use models and make really insane predictions that have no basis in reality about what you can actually achieve by sticking a molecule in a cavity. So they'll do calculations that correspond to a cavity being smaller than the size of the molecule, which makes no sense.
And weird stuff happens.
And yeah, sure enough, weird things happen. And yeah, that's not surprising because you're simulating
inside the material.
You're simulating nonsense.
I mean, the experimental aspect it's not necessarily the experimentalist's fault, because it's just hard to make these very small cavities and accurately measure them.
Yeah, and then there's a lot of questions about whether if there is an effect, is it actually sorry, I can't see him. Okay, is it a fancy quantum effect, or is it a classical effect, a classical cavity effect?
What's the difference between a classical and a quantum?
I don't know. There's like various cavity enhanced spectroscopies.
Like reflecting light.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Versus
are you creating this weird hybrid character state?
Yeah.
And is that leading to the property changes? So anyway, there's controversies both on the experiment and theory sides.
So some lunatic predicted that if you put a molecule in the cavity in a different direction, you'll change the chirality of the product. Was that made up nonsense?
Yes. Ken's talking about a paper that he and I have together. No, it's not made up nonsense. That's another aspect of it. All of these papers will say, okay, you get different results depending on how the molecule is oriented in the cavity.
So I want to tell you guys how cool this paper is, just because, like, if it was real and you could do it. So we have left and right-handed molecules, right? That's inherent to biology, right? Your DNA is left-handed, your proteins are right-handed, so on and so forth. And so a lot of your drugs are left or right-handed. And so my group came up with this way to use light to isomerize between a left and a right-handed molecule. Basically, you'd start with a mixture of both and make them all right-handed or make them all left-handed. And Eugene did some of his theoretical calculations inside these cavities to show that depending if the molecule's sitting like this or this, you can force it to go right-handed or left-handed. And if you could do that, that would be absolutely amazing. But you'll never do that on a scale to actually be useful, but just the fact that it showed it.
Yeah, that's another thing. There was just a JAX paper that came out. JAX is Journal of the American Chemical Society. It's like the most prestigious journal in chemistry. Mm-hmm. It was pure theory, but it involved experimentalists. But it was only theory, and the calculations were fine. The predictions they make are fine.
Oh, God, you were so close to the end.
But they claim things like this is going to change. This is a paradigm shift in how you can model, how you can do chemistry. But gloss over the fact that they're talking about chemistry that's one molecule at a time. Because the cavities are so small, right?
Yeah. Spoilers, you can't really sell one molecule at a time. You need to make kilograms for something to be useful on any manufactured scale.
All that being said, it's still very interesting that you can make these predictions. And
I mean, so
even if the prediction is nonsense, it could lead to something useful.
When you say cavity, you're talking about two mirrors that are how far apart?
It depends. So there's two different limits here. There's a what's called a many molecule coupling limit or a single molecule coupling limit. Most experiments are done in the many molecule limit, where you've got like maybe the smallest case I could think of is maybe 100 nanometers or something like that between the two mirrors, which is pretty small. But a lot of these theory studies... Where's my apples?
Nice. Oh, he blocked him. Look at that.
Oh, a boss.
Boss fight.
Oh, it's just a boo. Ha ha ha. Oh, no.
So how many levels are you in right now?
I think this is the fourth one. Have I continued yet this time? I don't think I have.
I don't know. You're flying, though. 25 minutes in.
I think this is about the top 200.
That's the time limit. I think you're right, actually. There was like a lot of 16 and 17 minutes, some 20 minutes, and then like an hour and 30 minutes. And then there's Eugene. What's your speedrun name?
What's
Quantum?
It was Quantum Supremacy, but then I thought that sounded too much like white supremacy. So I changed it to I Like Electrons. Oh, is this...
Oh, Uncle Bill had a follow-up.
Is this a real level?
I think it's just bonus level. Uncle Bill had a follow-up on the random number generator. I used to dabble in data recovery and secure erase. Part of secure erase is overwriting the old data with random data. But those methods are always getting cracked because somebody figured out how to replicate the random string. So it's at least one reason we really need random numbers.
Okay, interesting.
Man, that blew my mind when I learned that. Like old hard drives where you have a 1 or a 0 bit and you like zero everything, right? But there's still like a physical mechanical memory in it. So rather than zeroing everything, you do 0 1 0 1 0 1 and wash it. And then I guess this is the next step where you just do a random number sequence and repeat that over and over again. So I guess that's intriguing, Uncle Bill. What a fun like side job. Trying to I've come across several YouTube videos where they're like, this USB is melted, but we need to read the information. Have you ever seen this? Where they'll solder on special connections and read out completely broken chips and stuff like that. That's really cool.
Awesome.
All right, Go Haku. Is there any overlap between theoretical chemistry and theoretical physics? Harkening back to our previous guests, Hitesh Shinglani, who was a theoretical physicist who does solid-state materials, and you are a theoretical chemist.
Yes. The answer is yes.
Would you like to elaborate on where the boundaries are and what different... There's a Venn diagram of theoretical chemistry and theoretical physics, and there is an intersection between those two, but there's some differentiation.
Yeah, so we use the same theories, right? So we're both solving the Schrodinger equation. But chemists are in general interested in molecules, and someone like Hitesh, he's a solid state physicist, so he's interested in solid state systems, and they often will use model Hamiltonians instead of instead of ab initio Hamiltonians. But a lot of the methods that we use to solve the Schrodinger equation are common between the two areas. And actually, a lot of stuff in chemistry came from the physics community. So, for example, couple cluster theory is one of the ab initio theories that my group develops, and that originally came from the physics community in the 60s.
Generous one-up there.
What?
That's a nice one-up. Just right in the path.
Woo!
I mean, so there's a lot of overlap. Where's the differentiation? Why aren't you in a physics department?
I think the easy differentiation is molecules versus not molecules. But a lot in quantum chemistry, a lot of people are moving towards developing methods for modeling extended systems, material systems.
Oh, interesting. The molecules got too easy, and now it's...
Yeah, it's the next frontier.
I mean, so with all that said, like, Wei Yang is a theoretical chemist. But he does molecular mechanics, large systems.
Yeah, but not... But that's, like, biological, you know?
Yeah.
Oh, I really need,
Yeah, for anyone that's been on the streams the last, we were talking about this earlier, for some reason, and my guest compilation is like, I get a list of suggested people and I reach out to them and they say yes or no to being guests. But somehow, what am I saying? It's including next 2 weeks from now, I think 5 out of my 6 most recent guests were theoretical scientists. And so we started out with Hitesh Shanglani, who's a theoretical physicist. He models like continuous solids and big many electron systems. And then we followed that with Sachin Shanbag, who does, I guess he does like Monte Carlo type simulations. He does force models of like materials properties and things like that. Then we had Brian Quaife, who's in scientific computing, who does fluid dynamics simulations, but does it of fire, of blood flow, of erosion, and all sorts of stuff. Then we have Eugene DePrince, who's a theoretical chemist doing quantum chemistry.
That's me.
And then 2 weeks from now, we'll have Binno Yang, who's expert in doing like machine learning. I guess you could talk more about what he does, but it's much more higher level materials properties than something that you deal with. So yeah, we've been on a theoretical marathon, but through multiple scalars and levels. So if you had to pick a non-quantum mechanical theoretical sciences, this could be anywhere from education to, I don't know, modeling polymer soft matter materials kind of thing. Billy Oates does. What would you do?
If I had to pick?
If you had to leave the quantum mechanical realm.
I have to do some theory research.
Yep. I mean, this could be theory in, I don't know, anything, right? Music theory. It could be...
I'll go with music theory so I can establish that...
Oh man, are you going to say something?
I'm going to say something about Space Invaders. If I can focus. What does that do you think?
I think it changes this path. That thing. Isn't it?
Makes sense. Okay, I'm going to get me that chicken. Assuming it's still there. Thank you.
Nice. All right, Gohaku wants to know, is there a notation of quantum information or quantum numbers in theoretical chemistry?
Wait, ask the question again.
Is there a notation of quantum information or quantum numbers in theoretical chemistry?
Notation.
I mean, so quantum numbers is a real thing in general chemistry, right? That's just spin plus...
Notion, not notation.
Notion. A spin... Oh, I apologize. Is there a notion of quantum information or quantum numbers in theoretical chemistry? I apologize. Notion, not notation. I'm an idiot. Oh, here you are. You're on Jafar already. So this is the final boss, right?
Yeah. I thought that I could zap him. I thought I could jump on him again. I did watch this. Stop hitting me.
Oh. All right, so you just have to survive. Nice. How many hits on Jafar?
I'm pretty sure I have to fight the snake next, too.
Okay. Oh, yeah, that's right. Timer stops when you get the last hit on the snake. And you've beaten this before. 30 years ago.
Oh, yes. What? Oh, man.
Is that the speedrun start?
I don't know.
All right. Go Haku, we'll get back to it. Eugene's going to focus. Such horse shit.
I hate that I can't see my stupid character. Why can't I land on his head again?
I think it's not letting you. Jafar is a cheater is the answer. Don't do it. Don't be a hero. Just be patient. What was that, 3?
Yeah.
Yeah, you're not in a hurry. You are. This is speedrun. Speed strats.
Ah!
There's no warning for where that lightning bolt goes.
Don't be a hero.
Contra's on your side. Jafar is a cheater.
What?
What is this nonsense?
What? Get out of here!
I'm guessing you have to use... No? Oh, there you go. Get it.
Ah!
Oh,
Cramping up.
that
Cramping
was
up.
exciting.
It was
rage.
exciting.
It was fun to watch. It was nice, yeah. Contra, thank you. Nice dodges. You're teetering on not mediocre gameplay.
Teetering. I'm on the precipice.
We'll hold off on questions while you're at the boss. It's weird.
Oh,
How do you tell where they're coming from?
it's
you
those
see.
3 spots. It's the same spots every time.
Okay.
I was just standing in the wrong place.
All right. There's a pattern, ladies and gentlemen. The theoretical chemist will find the pattern.
Behold.
Whoa, Dr. DePrince has a YouTube video about solving Sudoku. Must check out later.
That is true.
He will talk much about Sudoku solvers.
So, for the next 2 hours, we can talk about Sudoku solvers.
So, if you guys want to know, Eugene does have a Twitch stream that he never streams from, but when he did...
Well, the problem is that I have a Linux box, and the stupid thing keeps crashing, and I don't know what's wrong with it. Every time I run OBS, it's crashing.
Have you tried Windows?
No. Okay, how many chickens will he throw at me this time?
All of the chickens.
Yep, there they come.
I think you could hit him on one of those. Like if you get the jump in the center.
Don't mess with a good thing.
Yeah, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. We're getting to the snake. This round, you're getting to the snake. You got this. Like here, I think if you jump off one of the middle ones, you could get him.
Nope.
Ain't broke. Don't fix it.
Go!
Oh, what? What was that limp jump? Such a weird boss battle? I agree, misadventures. You need a quantum number generator so Eugene can guess where he's going.
This music's so exciting.
I love that the speedrunning community has figured out there's no such true thing as random number generation in any of these retro games. There's some predictable pattern, whether it's when you start the console or the number of button pushes. It's not necessarily controllable, but it's all predictable. So congratulations. Now this is it.
Final battle.
Final battle, ladies and gentlemen. Let's do this. We're
I've got
Eugene a break
0 lives. I've got 0 lives, and I don't know how to beat him.
It's a snake. Any advice? Anyone knows?
The apples do nothing.
Eat them. Eat them.
Oh, Lord.
There you go.
Okay. He's got a head that looks like it wants to be jumped on. Those don't seem to do anything.
Have you tried jumping? Oh, can you jump on those? There you go. Okay, so it's probably one of those on the head. Damn apples. Oh, we count those.
Where did he go?
He's magic. Oh, get it. Get it.
Ah.
It's not entirely clear that you can jump on him there. Huh, that one counted. He's in a quantum state. What was his speedrun stat?
Just try not to die here.
I'm not going to get the timing right if you do beat this, but I'll go back and check. Huh. Look at that.
But he didn't light up that time. Does that mean it didn't count?
According to Nintendo bad guy rules, I would say it didn't count. Look at that. Am I wrong? Does this seem easier than... Is that it?
Don't know.
I might have missed the timing if that was the last hit.
Is that it? We'll call it 39 minutes.
It was sub 39 minutes if it was the last hit on it. I'm going to keep the clock going.
Ah!
What?
I'm letting this run.
You want to read the lore for the audience?
Can they not read it?
They can, but they need your
Sorry.
voice. They need you to Jafar.
Genie is more power than you'll ever have. I'm not doing this.
Oh, man. Was that it?
Yeah,
You
I think I
this game.
beat it.
That was it?
Yeah.
All right, so you were sub 38, something like that. I'll cut it down.
Sweet.
All right.
Oh,
So
wait.
what did we say you were at? Like 38 something?
Sure.
Speedrun. Aladdin.
Unlimited power. Itty bitty living space.
Disney's Aladdin. SNES. All right, I'm going to see if I can bring up...
This is the greatest night of my life.
The night is not over, sir. Jasmine, I'm sorry I lied to you about being a prince. Sorry, everyone, for interrupting the science, but we have to do the closing credits of Aladdin, as Eugene has beat it for the first time in 30-some years.
Yes.
Has it literally been 30 years? When would have...
If I hadn't bought it last night to try to play it, 30 years is not a bad guess. That felt good. That was fun. I have entered a whole new world.
Lucky Beer has redeemed a request to factoid. Lucky Beer, cheers. Let's celebrate the victory of Eugene with a factoid. Go.
Factoid. I tried to think of what games to play today. This is just a factoid about me. And I was torn between... These aren't factoids. So I'm cheating. I was torn between Earthbound. Do you know that game?
No.
Soul Blazer.
Earthbound was the Super Nintendo.
Yeah, it's an
like
RPG.
an RPG, yeah.
Soul Blazer, and a factoid about Aladdin.
No. Finish your thought on that one.
And then the other one was... Oh, brain fart. It's like the greatest RPG game of all time.
Final Fantasy.
No.
Ooh, you're going to start a fight here.
It'll come to me. Nope, not Mana. Mana. Chrono Trigger. That's the one.
Chrono Trigger.
Chrono Trigger, I remember...
Was that Super Nintendo?
It was Super Nintendo. And I remember you could... There were like 14 endings or something crazy like that, depending on when you beat the game. And I remember... I got it into a state that I couldn't beat. I couldn't proceed forward. It was very upsetting.
Like it was broken?
No, like I had done This happens in the Legend of Zelda on Nintendo 64. There's a way to like completely mess up the water level. I had done something in Chrono Trigger where I was just stuck. It was very upsetting.
I'm sure there's a YouTube video that exists right now to tell you exactly what happened and maybe how to get out of it.
No, the water level thing in it's Ocarina of Time, I think.
Chrono Trigger. All right, Eugene, congratulations. So let's take a look at where you would sit. What do we say? It's like 38 minutes and something seconds.
I'm pretty sure it's like third to last place because they were all.
So world record, here it is, 16 minutes, 5 seconds. We scroll down.
Not in the top 100.
Is at 18 minutes. Let's see where it puts you. 19 minutes. We're getting a little further. 26 minutes, 16 seconds puts you in the top. I think you could do that if you did it again. All right, so 38 minutes puts you at 216. That's not bad.
It's not 221st.
It's not where you wanted to be. That's a lot of people still playing Aladdin, quite a lot.
You know what? And even more people are going to play it after tonight.
They're going to be inspired. On the board, exactly. I was going to say the NARC scoreboard only has like 15 people. So
it's going to have 16 after tonight.
You're going to play?
Yeah.
Let's do it. All right. Quit your day job, but you can't make a living. Don't quit your day job, but you can't make a living doing speedruns. I don't know. You got to.
So this is the kind of thing. If I had an unlimited research budget, I probably wouldn't do research. I'd figure out a way that I wouldn't have to do research and I could just speedrun all day or make Sudoku videos that no one will watch on YouTube.
All right, so it's 9:52. We haven't had a shot of so we didn't tell you guys this earlier because we didn't want to die tonight. But Eugene and I hang out occasionally outside of Twitch, and so we had a game hangout night when the families were out of town and no kids were around.
This was the night we played Fall Guys.
Oh yeah, the Fall Guys for the first time. And so we played video games and we drank a bunch. And we went to the liquor store and we said, "What should we drink?" And I have this weird habit of getting the weirdest drink possible. And so last time we went with this guy right here. It is Tequila Rose strawberry cream liqueur with a splash of tequila. And so it is...
What we didn't notice that it was a strawberry cream liqueur with a splash of tequila. We were expecting this to be like an actual drink, not...
Yeah.
Not the gross thing that it actually is.
So it's 15% alcohol, but we decided tonight we're going to drink some of this. So if you guys want to do the make us take a drink, we will do shots of this Tequila Rose strawberry cream. Oh, Sugar Bomb is right, with a touch of cough syrup. Oh, Misadventures redeemed. Take a drink. Eugene, are you ready for this? Thank you, Misadventures. Your internet points are well earned and well used.